Hello, everyone. This is Plague Doctor back again on my personal channel, not the VRML network channel this time, on a bit of a off-season scrimcast here, a little more casual stream with my co-hosts. I have Dami IG and I have Crimson, Captain of Valor, here joining me. How are you guys feeling so far tonight?
Feeling good.
Yeah, so far I'm feeling really well. These are two heavy-hitting teams. I want to see them go against each other.
Don't we all? Crimson, being, captain of Valor, have you guys really faced off of SV too much?
Yeah, we've done like 2 scrims, so not really, I guess.
Not much.
But completely unbiased, could never be biased.
Obviously.
Least biased person on planet Earth.
But it looks like we're going to be getting into it soon as we're heading into our first map on a 4v5. Looks like Valor is going to not be fielding their 5th player just yet. Heading on to Factory. Now, Crimson, when we're looking at Factory, Valor's starting on offense and with a tryout. Do you think the plan is here kind of just get some good droning into storage, or are they going to try something a little off meta?
I have a feeling they're going to stick largely to what's been trained. I'm the IGL that is normally there 99% of the time, so they'll likely go to default to whatever plays I normally run. So we should be seeing a pretty basic storage take here in a moment.
Does look like they are setting up for a storage take here on the Enforcer side, and over on the Revolter side, they're setting a couple traps, and they're getting ready for the storage play. They're actually setting up exactly like they're waiting for it.
Yep. And
interesting to note, a Cyclone on the side of Valor for Dusty.
I mean, I've been seeing the Cyclone coming in more and more, especially since, those buffs that came in, right, Crimson?
Mm-hmm. Yep, with those buffs, if you're swinging at short range, you can definitely get some good work done.
We have on the SV side, we have
blood right here.
E-Girls Hit Me Up, Zen, Boy, Bane, and Shadow over on Valor. We did have the 5th come in, Shark the Cat coming in for Valor, picking up a Spectral, an Incendiary, and a Breaching Foam. So you have a pretty stout defense, honestly, of the B point so far, with Shadow trying to push straight out into storage, getting taken down. But Red gets flashed by his own teammates. Bane gets taken out by Sakura inside the cubby, and that's going to be an early pickup for Valor off a storage push into B.
Beautiful
run from Valor there. Things there. Ultimately, losing that first pick on storage door really kind of let the floodgates open for Valor. Once they were in storage and there was no counter aggression from SV, it became a lot easier to start dumping util into site and starting to snowball from there. Ultimately, I think the mollies that were used into site were excellent. The one on bomb clearing that entire position meant that Sakura was able to run in and take space, especially since SV fed a second player in through storage door there. Once they were down 2 players, Valor got to be really heavy-handed with the push without much repercussions of being outfragged.
I completely agree there. And as it looks right now, we have Valor taking the roof. Looks like they're going to drop through some hatches, try and take the hatches for both the roof and A site, if I had to guess. Just a standard play here. We got E2 on a window looking like he might break in right through it and stop anyone from coming up or down those stairs.
Trying to get them out. It looks like we actually have, interestingly, a gen hold from Shadow and Bane. They're really trying to keep these players out from top floor, but they're not actually successful, as we have Valor doing the pretty standard play of pushing straight through above lock. Now, actually, beside lockers, interestingly, almost nobody on point for the SB stack. We do have Zen on point, E-Girls hoping to push up the stairs as Koi does rotate in through connector. We're seeing some good wall bangs coming out.
The positioning on SV's side is very interesting. This is something that's known as a wraparound. It's where you purposely give up space to draw the enemy team in and then re-push from multiple angles to pinch them. That's what they're attempting from top and low floor at the moment. However, very good push-up. Immediately pick the 2 on top. Once Hatch is gone, it is very hard to play as offense.
And we did have some TK as well come through. Yeah, we had a TK come through. I believe Sakura got killed by Dusty, unfortunately. Red heading out, maybe trying to save. Shadow doing some wall banging, but Ito trying to recover this push, pushing straight in towards B, going for the plant. Zen trying to rotate through connector with Zen Sorry, with Shadow coming through as well. Ito now holding it down, throws an incendiary.
Beautiful
Might take down
instant.
Shadow. Beautiful
Oh.
incendiary taking down Shadow. It's just Zen hoping to salvage this round, but a fantastic rotate from Ito will clutch out this round.
That's an amazing clutch right there from Ito, and a good idea to back out and re-go through the window to plant.
I have to say, very well played by Ito. The team play from SV really shined that round. You could see the plan, having one low ground roam and two top floor, kind of draw the enemy team in, get them on that middle part of storage, or orange, excuse me. And once they're there, you can start picking fights, perhaps a 2v1 on top like they did before. They took two separate 2v1s on top because VALOR was not expecting the double roam. That allows them to retake space. However, at the end of the day, it all comes down to gunfights, and ET picked a great time to pick a gunfight off-site.
We have SV right here setting up for hatch drop, which looks about exactly what VALOR is planning. So I could not remember the team name for the life of me for a moment. So we'll have to see how that goes.
You
I'm
have
sorry,
a team
Crimson,
member
I'm
right
sorry.
Don't
here,
even know
Dami.
my own team. You're my
Sorry.
co-caster,
Wait, are you
man.
not part of SVNA? Oops. Oops.
You know, I've been captain for him for 2 years, man. It's just all secret, all in the down low.
Here we have the hatch blow and some shots coming through here. We have Shadow looking for a wall bang, waiting for them to drop, and we have a couple. We've had 3 of them sitting in lockers here, just waiting for that drop. E-Girls is actually playing a beautiful corner right here to see if and when they drop, just to get a couple quick picks.
We've honestly actually been seeing, at least for myself, during the cast and the finals, seeing these locker room holds been a lot more aggressive recently. 3 people in lockers, maybe even 4 actually sometimes. Does work out with Eagle Simi up taking out 2 players. Shark the Cat and Sakura held out from the point, unfortunately, with Zen trying to hold lockers. Dusty is alone below hatch. She dropped in with everyone else, but doesn't quite have the firepower or the manpower to really take these players down. Now with Sakura and Shark the Rat Cat trying to push through. They don't have a lot of purchase onto the point, but they don't really need to. Minute 30 left on the clock. They have a good amount of firepower over the SV stack. They just need to be very careful with how they use it.
They got plenty of firepower, plenty of time to make something happen here. Bane is holding a long angle right there, but it doesn't look like they're going to try and go for that anyway. They're going to try and go for this wall here into A site. We've only got one defender on B, which is interesting. They are foaming it and running. They might be trying to go maybe back up to hatch. Nope, they're just going to go in through the hole right here. Ooh, beautiful kill right there.
Shark the Rat Cat takes down Bane as Koi takes down Sakura, pushing straight through. Shadow goes straight towards lockers.
Good molly.
Gets
locks
closed
him
out.
away.
Fantastic play space. Now, Shark the Rat Cat trying to clutch out this point. Has to contend with 2 players, one rotating on the back hall he doesn't know about. Shadow heads through Cubby. Doesn't quite know. Shark the Rat Cat takes him down. Zen is unknown in the con, but Shark the Rat Cat still trying to hold this down. Gets the EMP start. He's just going to hold down this plant. Zen probably thinks it's going to be info peeking out, but Shark just straight out goes, heads up towards the roof. Zen's chasing him out. He knows he has to get this down. Both players dropping their guns, but Zen getting a fantastic kill off on Shark.
That was a beautiful peek right there by Zen.
Indeed. Shark didn't feel confident enough to get the hatch in time. Felt that Zen was a little too close. Wanted to fight, but mistimed it just a little bit. Zen, very good swing. He knew he did not have the audio cue that Shark was going to hatch, so he knew he was still down there somewhere. Didn't rush it, just took his time with it. Very good plays from both sides. The locker hold was very smart by SV. That's a lot of space you don't want to give up easily without fighting. And ultimately, it traded out very well for them at the start of that round. Being aggressive when your opponents aren't throwing a lot of util is a great idea. There's nothing pushing you back. There's no guarantee when they're first entering the building that there's going to be a refrag readily available. And it rewarded them for it. He got 2 kills, traded for just 1. At that point, they've also played it the smart follow-up as well by pulling back a little bit and not feeding more kills after getting an advantage. Pulled back sight and forced VALOR to start taking 1v1s. Now, it may not have worked out for VALOR at the end, mostly because of SV's good play. But if we can see some stronger util off the offensive side, I think we can start to see things switch up a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. Here we see SVNA taking that last round here, and going into this round, we see VALOR kind of doing the exact same thing or something very similar to what they did in the first round. And it worked out very well for them now, so they have no reason to think it won't this round. As Sakura actually throws his drone on in, looking for some people. And Shark's gonna toss what looks like a grenade in, and ooh, they got grenade and instant. No damage for Valor there, thankfully for them. Shadow is watching that window, watching the stairs. He knows last time somebody came down and got one of his teammates, so he's gonna hold that. And it looks like we're gonna have possible entry here by Sakura in a minute. Oh, nope, just a bait right there while Dusty's holding that corner.
Eto coming in on the back line, hoping to take out any players who are roaming in back hall. Might take out E-Girls if he's not careful. But E-Girls takes out Shark the Ratcat, giving Eto his opportunity to push in. But he gets taken down regardless by some great shots from E-Girls RCP. It's just Sakura, Dusty, and Red against a SV 5-stack. Trying to hold this down. Again, you know, they did try the storage push before, but they just couldn't get it off on the defense. But now they have much better firepower to contend with. We're seeing Dusty and Sakura both held completely outside just because they can't really get a foothold in. Red now looking to push through from storage. He really needs to take advantage of these flashes that are going out. He had a good opportunity, but unfortunately the door blocker is just really blocking him from getting any type of sightline at all.
Yep, absolutely there. And we have Shadow looking for a couple quick picks. Ooh, he does get one of them. He gets Sakura. Dusty now. Ooh, AJ keeping Dusty, taking over storage. It just leaves one player left, is Redo. Redo got one of the SV players here. It looks like Valor's going to try and take the room, but unfortunately he's not going to get it there as SVNA takes another round, tying it up 2-2 here.
SV doing a really good job of getting those early picks and then backing up and not risking their lives after that. It's really paying off for 2 rounds now, where just a little bit of bold aggressiveness to start, get an advantage, and then pull back and force Valor to take 1v2s, 1v3s, and throw away their numbers. Overall, little risky throwing so much util right away. They threw a molly and 2 grenades the second anything happened in storage, but if you're going to follow it up with 2 picks on players, it's absolutely worth it. We'll have to see how Valor can respond. The economy was hurt quite a lot. They may have 4 rifles, but if you look, the util is quite damaged.
Yeah, Eto can get some utility for his teammates just because he is buying down to an Omen or an RCP, but it's really got to hurt. Now they're going for the full buy. Not a lot to work with. Valor has a lot riding on this round, but we've seen that from Valor, whether it be in regular season play, in semifinals, or otherwise. You know, typically, Crimson, I see you guys, you have enough money, you just go for the buy and hope for the best. You know, not really hoping. You hedge your bets, basically, and go, okay, the other team's not going to have enough. We can really get some rounds going. And it does work out a few times, but unfortunately, sometimes when it doesn't work out, it really doesn't work out.
Yes. Ooh, another early pick from E-Girls hit me up. I don't know who that is, but they are certainly doing some damage early on.
It's one of the SV players. If I had to guess, possibly Tacey.
It was a full TK, don't worry about it.
Would make sense.
Dusty here, looking like he's going to try and go for the wall again. We're trying some fire back and forth with HJ. We got Shark clearing out lockers, making sure there's no one hiding in there this time. Oh, Shadow's going to come out with a quick peek. Looking for the 1-2, but not able to get it. Redo taking him on, and then that looks like Bane from far getting him as well. Shark's going to grab Bane, and it is down to a 2v2 here. Zen and E-Girls versus Dusty and Shark. We got smoke going in. Dusty and Shark looking like they are going to try and take A site in just a minute here. Got some foam down on a wall, and they might just try and blow it and go in for the plant. Zen, it looks like Zen's holding the little wall connector that got blown earlier. And there goes Shark blowing the wall.
I think that Molly in the hands of Shark is really going to come into play here in a moment if SV prefers to play passive rather than aggressive.
By the way, I have to say, Redo is red, Dami. It's a double D there. So.
That is red.
Looks like they're going to bait the EMP, see who peeks.
Dusty's going to be trying to get it. The unfortunate thing here is they're going to get pinched. E-Girls on the back line, Zen and Cubby. They aren't going to go for the commit. Zen tries to go from info peaks. They really want to push out.
Zen knows it's a bait, but he knows he has to do something at some point anyway. Oh, more util grab by Dusty. They know he's there. The molly misses, though. Shark gets picked off. The short swing is there, and Dusty gets pinched.
E-Girls having that beautiful swing and reaction time there to absolutely turn that corner and blast him.
I mean, well done overall to these players. They're all playing extremely well. I want to talk about the stats over on SV. E-Girls, Zen, and Shadow all at 5 kills, with Zen running a very respectable 5.0 KD.
Looking at things here, that last round could have gone anybody's way. Really, these teams just slugging it out early on in the rounds. Trading, fighting ones. You saw there towards the beginning of that last round, Shadow not afraid to just run outside of A site and swing the guy he thinks is exposed. It's those kind of risky plays that keep paying off for SV, where they keep getting those early numbers and are able to fight back because of it. VALOR looking to even things up a little bit here. Running 2 drones, having to run a lot of SMGs though. We'll see how those rifles play out.
SV using really good sense on their util. I've seen a lot of good plays in them and a lot of really good util practice with them. That last round and a couple rounds ago when they were pushing storage as well. I mean, it's a lot of util, but they're using it very well. And I think they might not have a ton of money for it, but it's absolutely worth it if it's going to keep taking rounds like this with them.
By the way, E-Girls hit me up is indeed Tasty. I got news from someone in chat.
Gotcha.
I had an inkling that was possibly Tasty, but now we have Zen and Eagles over on the back hall near Gravel, going for a pretty standard defense, honestly, for this floor, but Bane looking to flank out Dusty might be a bit of a thorn in Valor's side. Bane actually backs straight up. He doesn't see Dusty, thankfully, through the wall. Shadow maybe going for a lean peek. He's going to be a bit disappointed as there's no one there. It's going to give VALOR just a bit of time, actually, to push up towards the hatch, maybe push towards the point, as these players are extremely spread out. Bane is definitely going to be a bit of a thorn on their side. He's back on lockers. They don't quite know he's there. Sakura has been info peeking a bit, but Bane very tucked in inside lockers. Does get seen, but neither player gets taken down. They're both basically even health, but a very risky incendiary will cause a trade for these players, but unfortunately, VALOR's already down on health, so it doesn't help them a ton.
And we have
a lot of wall bangs.
Blocking off the stairs right there with an instant. Very smart move, even taking a player out with it. We've got Shark kind of pinned down now. Nowhere to really go between that instant and the wall. If he moves, he's going to get hit. He thinks he's going to get hit. There might be someone in the smoke there, to his knowledge. HJ and E-Girls just kind of sitting in the connector, waiting for somebody to make a move. And it looks like Dusty is going to try and make a move. He does come onto the kitchen and almost gets immediately shot at. Unable to figure out exactly where, so he shoots both angles as gives Shark just enough time to retreat from that corner he was in, and now he's able to place stairs for a better tactical advantage.
Dusty going for the plant on the box, and it looks like Eagles is actually not going to be banging through the smoke. They thought maybe it was a fake. HJ coming in on the side. Eagles pushing straight out, gets taken out by Shark, but gets taken out in return. HJ now on the EMP, goes straight out. Dusty might not expect it. Here's some pre-fires, but HJ doesn't really know he's there. Dusty now pushing out through the wall breach. HJ has no idea, and that is Dusty evening it up for VALOR. Now 3-3, heading into our round switch. Crimson, what are you seeing here, really, utility-wise? We're seeing a lot of utility going out. Is this kind of what you want to see from this matchup?
So, more and more at the top, if you pick the right moments to chuck that util, that is what makes or breaks a team these days. A lot of the shooting has gotten to such a level to where just having the best shooters is no longer enough to win you games. It is all about timing your util and then playing off of it, creating those openings. And so far, both teams have been doing a fantastic job trying to do that. Sakura trying to hit the molly on top floor. He does pay for it, does trade out. Very good flanks overall, and a lot of that is with the clones. We saw the clone that Bane was baiting off of, trying to get that flank off on top floor. But at the end of the day, 3-3 half, even on both sides. We'll have to see how offense looks for SV and how defense looks for VALOR.
Starting off here, it looks like SV is going to run a very similar thing to what we saw VALOR run, with one player sneaking through the factory part of the map, and we have the rest of them trying to bust into storage. So it's really just going to be a lot about how VALOR responds to what is essentially their own play, and if they can stop against it. They're not being that aggressive on storage as SV was, so we'll have to see if that makes a big change here. But we do have the drone coming in and kind of clearing out the area for them. Does look like it misses the person on misses Ito on stairs, so that might end up in a nice false call here on SV's part. We'll have to see how it goes.
Edo now coming down, might get, unfortunately, timed just as E-Girls pushes straight out, going for some blind fires. Fantastic blind fire, taking him out as he goes for the push through. Bane actually on the back line, knows Red is there, but unfortunately gets taken out by Sakura, who is inside the cubby. Nade's going out into the back line towards the connector. Red gets smoked out. He can't really see. Doesn't know if anyone's pushing in. Sakura does see people pushing in. Shadow's directly in front of Red. Red doesn't know. Red takes him out, but Red's stuck in the smoke. Takes out one before getting taken out by another. It is just Dusty versus HJ. Dusty holding onto a Taurus. Needs a single headshot or 2 body shots to take out HJ. Neither knows where the other is. However, Dusty knows he has EMP. HJ does not have all the time in the world. Pushing straight through the door, and he gets the double body shot to take out HJ.
Beautiful shot there by Dusty. Beautiful job playing it. Coleman not just shooting into the smoke, hoping for that. Very nice rotate there.
Very nice start for SV for sure. It seems like SV, especially on those short range angles, definitely has an advantage over Valor. Those short range swings by Tacey are very, very strong and have consistently gotten them picks round after round after round. However, I think they messed up a little bit there after getting those picks by rushing too fast into the point. After they lost their flank on assembly side, they did not have a lot of momentum to push through one angle into sight, and it cost them a lot of bodies there trying to funnel through that doorway.
I do want to quickly say, for the stream, Twitch has unfortunately decided to completely black screen, so if you're watching on Twitch, come over to the YouTube. Probably just gonna turn off the Twitch stream for now. We're just gonna stay here on YouTube, and that might just be better, unfortunately.
That's unfortunate, but oh well. We do persist. So is Valor going into this round here. They're gonna try and persist and take it back up, at least tie it back up here, trying to get that score a little more even. They are busting in and taking out one player already there. There goes Dusty down. Sakura is looking for that swing, finds it, and Sakura's gonna get hit going for Jane. That is unfortunate right there.
Ooh, Shark the Rat Cat really here on the flag. Might take out HJ. Fantastic
Bane
kill.
In a risky position. 1 HP is very hard to fight.
He can get it, but Red comes in behind him.
Oh, Shadow's stuck.
Oh no.
Blue vending, nowhere to go.
Oh, poor Shadow.
Oh no.
Shadow's at 8 HP. He's not exactly sure what he's going to do here. He might just turn this into a save round, honestly. It looks like he,
well, he might be trying to do.
Oh, he's going for a nice high advantage, getting a couple more shots off, almost hitting Red there and taking him out. If it comes down to him and Red, I mean, it's one bullet difference.
At this point in this economy, you know, savings for bitches, right? Like, you try to take them down, take out their economy. That's about it.
Well, thinking about it this way, from Shadow's point of view, he may not know how hurt the side of Valor is.
Oh, 100%.
It may look to him like he's on HP, he hurt one guy, and the other 2 are full HP. Now, I agree. With this economy, you definitely can play, but at the same time, they only have 1 round of loss bonus so far. They've still got a while before that starts to pay.
I don't know anything about loss bonus, so I'm just going to let Play reiterate on that.
So the way loss bonus works, for anybody who doesn't know, is it just goes up by 500 each time, up into a cap, I believe, of 3,000 or 20. Is it 2,500 or 3,000?
I believe it's 2,500.
2,500. So when you lose and you go to the next round, you get 1,500.
Oh,
the next round you also lose, you get 2,000.
Sorry, he thought the wall breach was open. He went through the cubby, tried to push straight on through, and just face planted on the wall.
Oh no, that's not a good feeling.
I think Red's gonna take him here. He's got that corner. Oh no, but Shadow gets Red first. Shadow coming out, and unfortunately, ATO's just gonna grab him there.
Continue, Crimson.
Very good attempt by Shadow. So as I was saying, that second round you lose, you're getting 2,000 for that. By the third round, you're getting 2,500. As long as you saved a little bit of money from last round, you can really get a lot done with 2,500. Whereas with 1,500, it feels like you can't afford anything most of the time. Very good round played by Valor. Same with SV. SV really had that good start again, it felt like, where they got those 2 picks. However, those picks, unlike some other rounds, were not for free. They did not come out unscathed. They were missing huge amounts of HP. And before rifle round, that HP matters a ton because it takes multiple headshots to kill somebody. If you're missing 80% of your HP, 1 shot to the body or head a lot of the time is enough to knock you out. But At the end of the day, SV's back starting to slowly get pushed against the wall here, so they're going for a pretty heavy force. Looking at 3 Aurils, a rifle, and a RCP. Interesting to note that they have no foam or drones. I don't know if this is an interesting meta decision or
They have foam now.
a mistake. Okay, so they got a foam.
They have a single foam
no drone.
and a single frag. That's it.
I don't know if they're going to do that, but I'm
those
excited to see. They also dropped the EMP and their foam and their nade on the ground, so they have nothing. It's all on roof.
This doesn't feel like a great idea.
Whatever the
Those are
idea
kind of
is, I'm sure
important.
we'll see it in a minute.
I think it's just a big
Well-
brain play that they aren't expecting, you know?
They're trying
Shadow,
to take
oh!
the push.
The Huracan kill. Red trying to get some pre-fires in, does take down Shadow on top floor. That's Huracan down. A lot of Valor players just roaming on the points, hoping to take down these last 2 players. Pushing through on hatch as HJ comes down the stairs. Looks like we do have Bane sitting up on hatch. Soccer going for the lead peek, takes 1 out. It's just Koi trying to take out another on the table. Takes down 1, takes down 2.
Beautiful.
It is just Dusty and Shark.
Takes down
Shark
3.
gets taken out. Koi going for the 4K, hopefully getting the 4K and getting this off for his team. He doesn't have the EMP, unfortunately. It is still on the roof.
That would have been pretty helpful to have.
Actually, it's 2nd floor, not even. Oh, it's on the hatch, I see.
There was a plan here. We saw it in the beginning. We didn't know what it was, but it's starting to come together here. We'll see if SV can take it off. I'm still completely unaware of what the idea was, but it's working for him, it seems. We're down to a 1-1. HJ looks very confident with himself here, just running around the site, going right through the window. Dusty's holding connector. Here's the EMP. Starts to slowly peek here, but by that time it's already planted and HJ's going to start running away. That
Ooh,
prox might give him away, though.
That
I would
prox gonna be
definitely
good
say-
info for Dusty.
Advantage HJ. He's got a lot of different opportunities to deny that EMP. Wall bangs on 2 different walls as well as potential wall blow. However, Dusty going for it.
Peeker's
does get the
advantage!
kill.
He just watched.
Peekers.
I think a lot of that was the angle. With him crouched, if you look at exactly where he was, that little bit of cover makes it really hard for you to see Dusty, but Dusty can see around it and see you because it's
That is
thinner when
really
you're standing
unfortunate.
up. I
That is
think if
really
HJ had been standing rather than crouched, he would have won that gunfight.
Yeah, no, that's that Peeker's advantage really coming in to rear its head. Now, Valor is up 6-0. Sorry, 6-0? 6-3. I'm just
6-0.
misrepresenting everything here.
Bias
You know,
much?
you know me. I like to no bias here. No,
Bias.
Valor
None
up
whatsoever.
6-3. But this can definitely be taken back by SV. We've seen it happen before
Absolutely.
where teams
Going
take these
back-
things back.
Going back to that loss bonus is really kicking in here if you look at the side of SV. Even though they lost that last round, they still have 3 rifles and an Huracan. That Huracan may look like a stupid decision, but if you play it at the right angle, it can equal rifles. If you're close range and you're swinging, play spacing, it is insanely effective at getting those kills. But we'll have to see how they use it. Going for a much heavier util approach this time. They've got 2 frags, 2 foams, interestingly enough. I'm wondering if they're going to split and potentially go for something like a hatch with that
Have
extra
a
foam, or
drone.
possibly storage hatch.
It does look like that might be something that they're doing here because we do see Shadow going for AWOL immediately here.
Wall.
There goes AWOL. He's
He's
coming in. He's
in
king
connector.
Unfortunately, that Yurikon in his hands does absolutely nothing. But they do have a hole in the back sight now, which
Very
they might be able to
interesting
play
play.
on. They're gonna blow the hole right here into B site, the front hole.
ETO with the short swing.
ETO coming back getting both of them beautiful there. Zan's just gonna start hiding there, and E-Girls is gonna just looks like he's trying to hold the outside, maybe come
Zen
picks
goes
through the
down
window
as
on
well.
Ito.
He wants that 4K. You can see him thirsting for it, but Eagles takes him down. But
Gets
Shark the
picked
Rat Cat
off.
there to get the refrag. And that is a
Good
blind fire.
7-3 victory on Factory for the Valor squad.
I gotta
Have some-
say, SV may have lost that round, but they definitely are an ingenuitive team. I can see where if a team is more aggressive than Valor, if they're not on site like Valor is a lot of the time, if they're in storage, roaming, all this other stuff, and you immediately have a guy just in connector, that's a huge problem for the defenders because connector, there's a lot of open space around it, and you can't really retake it super easily. Now, they did get one player in, but he did not have enough time to solidify his position there. He was still kind of stuck and couldn't really take enough space forward to peek into B site there to really make it matter.
What an exciting
And,
first map, honestly. You know, we had 7-3. It was honestly looking like with the defensive rounds that SV was really getting some good rounds in. VALOR showing they really had some fantastic defensive plays when it came to coming inside, and offensive plays when it came to entering the building. Now, getting to our map 2, I'm suspecting we're going to see something like Arctic or maybe Dam. I doubt we'll see Skyscraper or Mall, just because those don't get played as much. But it is the off season. Crimson, are you trying to get your team to play some maps you typically don't really during the season?
That one map would be Sky, and with LAN coming up, while it is the off season technically, it kind of still feels like the ongoing season
Fair.
with LAN a month away, and that's not really enough time to get Sky on par with
That's
everything
fair.
else.
No,
now, is
fair.
Breachers best of 3 or best of 5?
Best of 3, unless it is the grand finals were best of 5.
I see. Okay.
Yep, and scrimmages, it's
Typically best
really
of 3.
however many maps a team wants to play.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I see. So, let's see. If VALOR wins this one, they'll win the thing, the entire thing, correct?
They'll win the series, but
scrimmages.
typically, if teams set aside enough time, typically people on scrims will play a third map regardless.
Mm-hmm.
I see.
Yeah, scrimmages may have been a little bit more based on ego, based on how good your team is at the start. Nowadays, everybody knows it's just practice. At the end of the day, it doesn't represent how good or how bad your team might be. It's all just trying to improve. So when those matches happen, because those matches are what truly matters. Interesting setup from SV, going all for a wraparound, but also looks like they're going for a crouch in down on that red engine side.
Zen got taken out immediately by Shark, unfortunately. That's an immediate.
Looking to try and recover that body. I'm trying to find that doorway here and maybe avenge his fallen brother Zen over there. He's looking through, and there we go. There's a pick from E-Girls.
Trying to take out Shark. Did take him out, got the refrag, evening up the numbers, but Dusty's still holding on to. The Taurus is going to be dangerous for these SV players. HJ gets up on the box trying to take out Red as Bane pushes up to try to go and answer. Bane is extremely low at 1 health. SV Shadow gets hit by a nade, gets taken down relatively low as well. Sakura.
Really bad news for SV. Once you get a defender in that position where Sakura is at, it is really hard to do anything.
Yeah, Sakura's playing Ringer on the Rosie, and now EMP's dropped on the ground. Looks like Shadow's hoping to push into the back of B, but unfortunately he doesn't have EMP. He's going to be trying to flank out Sakura. Sakura doesn't quite know where he is. Might get, unfortunately, taken out. Doesn't hear any sound cues.
If Red Engine door is not broken and Sakura's not thinking about this could be an incredibly good rotate and could potentially even up the game.
Ooh, beautiful hit right there from Shadow. Shadow now trying to go for ETO. ETO's trying to run away a little bit, make those shots and not get him, but that means that Shadow's going to be able to pick up the EMP here, maybe try and go for a plant or a fake out to get ETO to come to him. Looks like ETO is going to start coming to him, just barely dodging all those shots. Shadow looking like Neo for a minute. Shadow's going to try and get him back through, and there we close right there. ETO down to 1 health.
1 health wonder.
That was anybody's fight right there.
And Shadow with Ultra Instinct right there. He heard one footstep from ETO ready to swing that corner and immediately flicked up and started pre-firing exactly where he was going to swing. If his shots were even just slightly lower, that was a win for Shadow. Overall, very good round by SV. Interesting that they had 2 players at the top there. A little bit risky having, I don't remember which player, I think it was Zen sitting outside door. If you did not know, if you're sitting by the boxes where Shark is, you can look under the door and see feet. So what likely happened is Zen did not realize this and was standing where his feet could be seen, and Shark immediately picked him off as the round started. But very impressive that SV managed to get it that close down a player immediately. Overall, though, looks like they're going to go for more of an SMG buy, try and get some of that economy bonus, double the money for kills with SMGs, and potentially go for a beat hatch.
Looks like that might be what they're trying to do here. We do have Shadow and Zen teaming up around this window. I say that and they immediately leave each other. Bane and making entrance on the second story, Zane on the third. coming in. Red's gonna try and peek that corner and go for it.
Ooh.
Beautiful shot by Red. Oh, that's gonna take some damage immediately. Take a player off.
That's
Got
EMP down.
peeking. That is EMP down, and they're gonna have to try and recover that if they want anything. Dusty looking like he might get swung here. Oh, but no.
Dusty
We have
is ready to
Sakura in
fight.
there. Woo.
Dusty's
Zen,
ready
some
on
beautiful
birthing. He
shots.
doesn't want to get flanked out, but
Dusty
he's going to
swings
quickly
this-
rotate out.
Ooh,
Dusty
he gets
swings
it.
that. He knows he has it. He knows he has that. EMP is back down and leaving one enforcer left, sitting with only 20 HP versus both two defenders. We'll have to see exactly what HJ decides to do here. He's in a very odd position. He does start going into, I have no idea what this room is, but he does start going to and immediately gets
Medical.
tapped by ETO, unfortunately. Medical. I see.
Or med bay, either way, really.
You can even call it
Ship
graded
was the
fuel.
map I
Yeah.
stopped playing competitive with because I did not like it. So I
Yeah.
didn't even bother letting the callouts. I'm not going to lie.
Well, since then they've reworked it, so maybe. you
Yeah,
like
it did get
Who
reworked.
knows?
Maybe I'll take a look at it later tonight, tomorrow. 'cause
Yeah, take it for a spin.
I want to like Ship. It is it reminds me of Hijacked from the old Call of Duty days, but just, I didn't like how
Very-
it was originally.
I do like. Originally, it did feel pretty clunky. The rework definitely felt like it made it a lot more open, made it a lot more easy to get some open pushes, get some wraparounds, and you're not just funneling through hallways all the time.
I mean, the first
go
time I tried it, honestly, the rework, it felt like they turned it into like a dollhouse. Like they turned all the rooms into like each room has one thing up in the center of it, and then it's just you can move around that, and usually it's cover. Like
That
it
is
felt odd,
very true.
but that's exactly what this map needed.
Yes. Oh, ooh. Good trade out by ETO. Couldn't quite get the collat.
Zen able to take him down, and now it's showing the door, baiting out Red. Red is looking around that corner, trying to find where he went to, and is going to start just running away. Zen hears the cue and decides to start maybe looking for a peek again. If he peeks soon, he might be able to catch Shark. Unfortunately, not. And we're gonna go over here. Shadow down by Dusty. Unfortunate. And Dusty's now look at Bane almost getting tagged with that wallbang and absolutely killing him. Got 3 players on him, and that is just going to be very unfortunate. Not much he could have done there. So that's going to be another win for Valor, taking it 3-0 right now.
Very clinical hold from Valor. The issue there, I would say, was probably how split the overall SV squad was. Generally, you only see taking both north and south side of navigation, but they also tried to take Green Hall door. And if the enemy team is not playing an aggressive hold early, if they're playing more site heavy, or if they're playing roam heavy, that can absolutely work, because at least one of those 3 areas is going to be empty, and you can really start taking space aggressively and quickly. However, if you're up against an aggressive defensive team, they're not going to give you that space for free, and it's really hard with just 1 or 2 people on each of those angles to take that space efficiently.
It looks like we have.
Did I continue?
Well, either way, man.
You go there, Blake?
Honestly,
Blake hasn't
it's-
spoken a second, so I was letting him take the floor. Maybe.
No. You know, you guys are the new casters.
that
I gotta
case,
give you
looks
some
like we're gonna
space,
have-
you know?
Zen on a window here. Dusty actually sitting right
Oh,
behind
Lord.
that window going through the vent. Oh, nothing does appear to come through that, but we do have Shadow roaming the top, looking for these hatches. And he does have foam. It looks like he's going to try and go for maybe the top of B hatch here. And underneath, we have a little bit of gunfire going on, shooting at some drones, taking him down. And Zen's going to actually break that window, start trying
Please.
to get some
No, don't
shots
forget
in. But
EMP again.
did
No.
they forget EMP again?
No, don't forget
Oh,
EMP
no.
again, please.
No.
It's a tactical decision. It's a tactical
Please.
decision.
Bane's
Oh,
going to
thank
get it,
God.
right?
Oh, they baited
Oh,
Dusty.
thank God, Bane went and
That's-
grabbed it, but it's
oh,
too late
that's
as
a
Dusty
bad
takes
bait.
down.
No,
Oh my
no.
God!
Oh my god!
No!
That,
I think Bane ran
mm.
outside to go get EMP at the same moment. All of Valor swung all of SV.
Ooh.
Oh, that is really
That was
Where'd
rough.
everybody go?
Yeah, Bane kind of grabs EMP, turns around, and just sees like 4 death markers everywhere. It's like, how the hell did this
Dusty
happen?
wasn't
in
having
5
any
seconds?
of it.
Oh, gosh.
No,
It was
SV
unfortunate.
didn't quite take space fast enough once they started to enter the building. And because there was no follow-up drone, follow-up flashes, follow-up, pressure on Valor, it allowed Dusty to get close enough to immediately sharp swing and get that Peeker's advantage short-range kills.
I'm gonna be very curious to see how this looks when the roles are reversed here, putting SV defending. Because if I remember correctly, even with the rework, I'm sure Ship is still a very defender-sided map, and with the way things are heading now, I can only guess that SV is going to be a much more lethal force on that defense side than they are right now, trying to get in.
Their back is going to be against the wall with
Yeah,
map-wise and round-wise. It's going to be rough, mental-wise.
Even if it is defensive-sided, it's really hard down that many rounds because you have to constantly buy and spend all your money. So even if you do win the round with SMGs, you're going to be down money on next rifle round. Oh no.
Ooh, Red
there goes.
a little over-aggressive on the angle, tries to get through, just can't quite get it. Bane claiming some space as an incendio goes straight to Soccer's feet. Has no choice but to push straight through. Does get a trade. Now it is just Dusty and Ito trying to take these players down with Shadow and E-Girls pushing through.
E-Girls looking for that swing, maybe looking for a few peeks. Trying to hold that little box angle. Maybe get ETO here. ETO firing a little high. I think maybe he was on that head peak, but he wasn't. We got
I really
Shadow
like
coming in
this
from behind them.
One player just sprinting, shooting, keeping the attention. Shadow gets in. Dusty's in a real bad position.
There we go. The
almost.
First round taken from SV. And in a very nice way as well. Took it down very much to the clutch here. 31 HP left. But that final moment there where you had these two players teaming up to absolutely wreck the Valor players was a beautiful, beautiful strategic choice right there from SV.
I would say that was a brawl from start to finish for that entire round. I think the util, especially that molly on Sakura cutting off the flank, is what really sent it home for them. They were up 4-3, but once they got Sakura down on Red Room flank, all they had to worry about was sight side. Now, they did lose 2 players to ETO, and it got really even, but SV, with an excellent strategic move, having one player make a ton of noise, keep all the attention on an A site, while one quickly but quietly slipped right in behind and got the space they needed to wrap around.
Now, with the SV players trying to push through on navigation, it's going to be rough for them to get this because it is pretty meta push, and Valor on the space is pretty much known for their knowledge of the meta pushes, knowing how to counter and to execute them. So it's going to be rough for them to get through. I will say it may be made easier with Dusty and Sakura both on a downstairs roam. Meanwhile, Red and Eto are both in the navigation room. E-Girl's hoping to push through. Might see Eto and Red. Eto hearing the doors break, with Red pushing straight back to point, getting live pinged out by a drone. Luckily, getting back inside the point, with Sakura looking to push up the stairs. Might get droned out or get isolated, but Dusty looks to push it on back hall.
Lethal wallbang.
I'm seeing a lot of roaming right here from Valor's team, constantly not on site until the push actually starts happening. So SV likes to do about the same thing on offense as well. If they just could get their forces together, I think they'd have a much better chance than what they've been doing so far. That's going to be Shadow taking down Red, though. They are going to start pushing into A, so I might be speaking too soon. There goes Shark. We've got a 4v1 right here. Sakura, the only Valor player left alive. As
on the flank.
Oh, my God.
But gets taken out.
Sakura almost had that there. Taking the SV players down pretty low and even getting one of them. But unfortunately, that is going to make it 4-2.
It'll be fine.
Poor Shadow, man.
It'll be fine.
That KD.
It'll be fine.
Overall, very good round by SV. Valor started off strong, not by getting picks, but keeping the opportunity out there and then forcing a lot of util out from SV in order to take space. Denied drone, forced some flashbangs. I think they even forced a molly early and then backed up. The big kicker is when Bane got aggressive on the doorway. Dusty was also looking to play aggressive and get a short swing, but was not ready for a member of SV to be playing that close, that fast. And once Dusty got picked off, it's like a house of cards because you've got that roamer outside as well. Once Dusty's down, there's 3 people sight versus 5 until the roamer hits. And it's really hard to fight a 3v5.
Looks like we might have a 2-person climb out from Bane and Shadow getting a bit aggressive. They might take out Eto if he's not careful, but might leave the rest of their teammates kind of vulnerable if they don't get it off. Eto none the wiser that there's 2 people sitting directly above him as Bane climbs out. Eto doesn't even know, but he gets the kill off regardless.
Oh my God, Eto.
With Shadow getting the refrag. There's no way Eto got that kill off, though. Dusty trying to get the refrag for his teammate. Can't quite get it off. Zen does get taken down as well. That is an immediate numbers advantage for Valor against all odds.
Sharks
Numbers
in a
are
good
one
position
thing,
here.
but these HPs are not great. Wait, did
Shark
Shadow
and
drop
making
in
their way
behind
to
them?
sight.
Uh-huh.
Oh, there goes Shadow getting one. Red swinging, trying to get him. Shadow takes out two now. It leaves it down to just Dusty versus two of the SV players. He's holding a nice angle here, but he's going to have to move in if he wants anything to happen. He does have a little bit of time to play with, about 1:45 on the clock. But even with that, he has to make some sort of move. The Shadow players are both low, about his full HP entirely, and they takes out one of them. There we go. Now the
Execution.
Shadow down. We got just Dusty versus HJ. HJ sitting in A site. Dusty sitting right here on generator, is I believe it is called. Dusty going in, and he's going to go for it now. HJ saw him, and he misses his Taurus shot, so that's going to be HJ taking that for SV.
That's gotta hurt, because he missed those torch shots. He hit one of them, but it was a body shot, not a headshot. If it was a headshot, he would have been down for the count. That is still...
Played by Dusty, just didn't quite hit the shot. Sorry, go
Valor
ahead.
is still up by 1, but SV is coming back.
Very good defensive play by SV. That was one of the most chaotic rounds I have seen in a while, from start to finish. Between Bane hopping out of that window, desperately trying to kill ETO, and between ETO's play spacing and Bane, the kill just could not connect. Just was not there. Now, Shadow did bait Bane very hard and did kill ETO towards the end there. But it looked like towards the end of that round, one of the defenders hopped out from second floor behind wall and then ran in behind the attackers, which I have never seen before. That's honestly quite the brilliant move.
I say it's something I've seen
Out
on
of SV.
Hideout a good bit of, climbing out on top floor to drop down after the wall breach, but not necessarily in competitive play, and especially not on ship. Eagles immediately gets taken out by Eto on a clairvoyant, I would say, door peek, honestly. He just peeked around, knew that there's going to be someone's feet here. Bane pushing
entry
through, does get
red.
flashed out, trying to push straight through, does get flashed again, but doesn't get killed in the box as these Valor players aren't pushing in behind him. Bane and Shadow on a dual peek behind the box could get utiled out.
Ooh, Shadow goes down. ETO gets refragged though.
It's down to a 3-3. We got Soccer Shark and Dusty all trying to push through this hallway here. Got Bane defending it, trying to just switch between that little vent corner and the hallway, trying just to get some peeks, and he does get one here. That instant is kind of blocking them from going forward. Valor's going to start trying to push though through this little hallway now that Bane is gone. HJ and Zen just retreated back to B side a little bit, taking some shots here, but not a lot is going to get done unless they start pushing into the site soon.
Looks like they're waiting for wall to blow, with Dusty holding on to the wall. It looks like HJ unfortunately messes up his incendiary just as the wall's about to blow. Just the timing there for breachers is real unfortunate. Soccer already on the bench, hoping to get Dusty to put the EMP down. Zen is especially low. HJ is not as low. Sakura is going to be defending Dusty on a lean peek. HJ peeks around, does get taken out. Now it's just Zen holding on to a Spectral. There's no point in saving. He really just needs to get a bit of a hero play in order to get this down. He could pick up maybe the nade and get a great kill off in a medical, but it's not looking likely with the now post-plant situation.
Gets the tag off Soccer, but that's about it. And he's gonna have to start really pushing this and getting very lucky with his shots, and hoping that they get very unlucky with theirs before something happens. There goes one.
Oh,
And Dusty, Dusty recovering that there for Valor. Unfortunate for SV there. They were sitting there for a second trying to really get that, but Zen was unable to take that round.
Impressive that he was even able to get one. When you're in a Spectral and a 2v1 post-plant and they have SMGs, it's really hard to fight that, but a very sharp headshot immediately onto Ice Beast. But when you don't have any idea where that second player is, it's really hard to win that 1v2. He expected Dusty to be on the pinch angle. Instead, Dusty was on the short refrag. Not much you can do when you're down that many numbers. Very interesting start to the round. It looked like they were trying to have Tacey get that early pick advantage that they had on Factory. But Ship is a little harder to get those starting picks when it comes to entry. Whereas Factory, there's a lot more shorter angles where you can fight with cover around the windows and entry side. Ship, little more open around those entries, a lot harder to play close without getting fragged out.
Here we are. We have Dusty, Sakura, Ito, and Shark looking like they're going to try and go for maybe this hatch here. They do just throw EMP down. I wonder if they're actually going to take it. Okay, Shark does take it this time, not leaving it up there. And they do go for this hatch right here. No one directly below them, so Shark decides to start popping in, following the drone through. Decides to start foaming that wall. We got Bane holding that little doorway, waiting for his moment here. As we have entry from Red and Ito from the opposite side, they now have full control of this little main cabin area. Beautiful push, and Shadow's going to go ahead and take one for himself here before almost getting domed, but not quite, so he's going to hold on back. Lots of fire going on here, leaving only HJ for SV, and fortunately, it's very hard to win those, and it just didn't happen. Everything went very quickly, not much time to run away, not much time to position for SV once the bullets start flying.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. I think Bane on the door just got really aggressive, trying to throw some util out, completely exposed himself to the Valor stack. That's never where you want to be. When you're trying to get the utility down the hall, you want to make sure you're safe while doing it. You don't want to get taken out just holding incendiary and you know, possibly hurt your teammates while you're at it. You want to make sure you can at least get it down range without getting taken out while you're at it, especially since with the bullet slow, if someone shoots you, you can't sprint anymore. With the play space nerfs, you can't play space very well. It's going to be rough for you to get back in.
Really just not expecting that aggression out of Valor. Valor, known as usually one of the slower, more quiet teams, really taking their time, clearing stuff bit by bit. That round, there was none of that. The second they had space on that navigation section, they had walls foamed, they had walls blown, and they were fighting into sight. And that's really not what Bane was looking for. Bane was looking for a quick pick and then time to run back into sight and play it safe. But if those teammates are knocking, or excuse me, if the enemies are knocking on the door, you've got to fight then and there. It's
almost like they don't have an IGL with them. That's so weird. Who could have known?
So weird.
It's funny how that works.
Crimson, get in there.
It's working out for them. They're still up 6-3, I guess.
They are. This could be the round that takes the game here. If they get together and start taking matches, it's going to be 2-1. That's going to go. Oh, so
Where
close.
Where are the comms for HJ?
Oh, gets picked off.
Just Eagles left. Now, I noticed Valor's sitting at 4th right now. SV.
Very nice
Beautiful job right there for Valor. I see SV sitting at 7th. Valor is sitting at 4th. What is the actual skill difference between a team at those like placements look like in Breachers? Is it a big difference? Not really a difference? So what are we going to expect? See, like
I'm obviously not going to be biased at all in this subject,
right?
You know, zero bias whatsoever. But I think there is a decently sized gap between top 3 and anyone else right now. Fusion is a bit of an interesting one. They're kind of a wild card since they keep switching players, so we're not really sure where they're at. But including them in the top 4, it's really hard for any other teams to compete with them. Now, I will say, SV had a pretty good showing. You know, they were able to knock out F3 in the last week of matches.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone saw that coming. That was just a complete surprise on all fronts. Well, and they even got some good rounds against IVI. But at the end of the day, when you're a newer team and you have not had the time to train, like Valor's been around 2 seasons now, SV's been around half a season maybe. That experience gap is really hard to close.
Well, and you know, Valor's been around for 2 seasons, but the Valor players have been around for longer. You know, it's something where you just don't have the experience. It looks like we will be doing a 3rd map, actually. I wasn't expecting that.
Right into it.
Heading right into it. But before we get into that, I just want to do a quick thank you all for coming out to the stream today. You know, everyone in chat just hanging out and seeing all these folks coming in, doing some off-season casts. We'll be doing some more of these, hopefully, with some other casters, some people looking to become casters, or just people wanting to come on. Heading into our 3rd map, and I think my prediction was about right as we're heading into Arctic.
Yep, you did call out.
Arctic is, I would say, one of Valor's, maybe not top map, but one of Valor's top maps. Would you agree, Crimson?
Yeah, we used to think that too, and then we tried to play it against IVI and Acer and got slammed to the last week.
Well, okay, so we're going
a bit of a rough week.
Wow.
You know? But I would say we're quite strong on it. It's definitely a very technical map. if your execution is not extremely on point, once things start going wrong, it gets very hard to recover on this map. So looking at things here, Shadow
Speaking of
with
which,
a really
the
Two
top
of them?
floor drops
Two
that
of them?
immediately
Something
don't work
cool.
out. That
Red
was
taking
a
over.
play you could take, I suppose.
If you're gonna say something about SV, you could say they're ballsy. That's for sure.
That is true.
No
Trying to go-
hesitation.
Still
whatsoever.
staying straight in this back hall. Red pushing up, gets taken out by HJ, gets a little too curious. Nate's going into the back line. I would say blowing the wall is a priority currently, as you know they can't be too deep into the point. You hear them walking around. Dusty holding on to the Taurus could be a bad idea. Valor's currently feeding the SV players,
that
just pushing
timing.
straight up into the incendiary. Now it is just Dusty trying to do a 1v3.
Oh, good luck winning that with a
Not
Taurus.
gonna work.
Zen
Unfortunately,
shooting the body,
3v1
however.
with Taurus isn't gonna go too well for most players, I believe. So that is just gonna go to SV taking the first round of Arctic.
Really good start for Valor, but you know, it might have been the fact that they had a lack of an IGL that caused them to push way too fast. The big problem there was that Molly was still up when two different Valor players, one by one, tried to swing around that corner. With that Molly up, they can't get into cover. They can't adequately take space, which meant the SV players were allowed to play off cover, play off that doorway, and just short swing one by one. Short swing, short swing. Keep that peeker's advantage. Keep cover advantage. And just get those picks. And even with wall foamed, if you've lost two players at that point, you have to cross together, and it was just one by one. Because
Yeah.
Shark was immediately after that and just could not get control of the space.
No, I think what I need to see Crimson, what I need to see Valor doing really is holding hands more. You know, they're going through one at a time. They're going through individually and getting taken out. We're seeing SV, even if they're going for plays like dropping out of the top floor window together, they're still doing the
play
top floor window
together.
push together. Like they're about to do on Ito again, pushing straight out. It works out this time,
Holy
taking down two players. Bane still outside, just full committing. Shadow maybe looking to lean out and take out Ito as well. Doesn't quite get it off. Dusty up on the rooftop. And Ito repeats.
No,
That
Zero
is
hesitation.
3 Valor players getting taken out, not even on entry denial, just on a climb out and a lean. Now Red and Dusty probably looking at each other and wondering what the hell just happened.
Also, not having EMP. EMP was
Oh.
on their bodies.
Uh-oh.
EMP is now just in a position where it's going to be very difficult for Valor to recover. They may have to just either really try and make some play for the EMP, or just go for it and take out these last 4 SV players. It's not impossible here. We've seen them do some very similar feats tonight, so we'll see what they decide to do. I see that flash coming in from Red here, so it looks like they might be just deciding to try and play it out without the EMP, as Red looks like he's going to start peeking that corner. Shadow comes out and takes Red down. That is
No way.
unfortunate.
Dusty
Oh,
whiffing the kill, unfortunately. That's
Ooh.
gotta
Yeah.
hurt the ego.
Red was really baiting for Dusty to kill that guy, and Dusty did not hit him.
Dusty's about to get a climb
Oh,
out
no.
again, and
Oh,
E-Girl gets him
no.
down! Oh no. I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, I don't think Valor entered the building.
They did not. No, not
No.
1 foot for a Valor player entered the facility now.
Really just a clinical shutdown from the side of SV. Valor, when you're down 3 people right away, it's very easy to freeze like that, where it's like, okay, we're down 3 people, we need picks. And they had a plan. The plan was for Red to make some noise. That's what the flash was for. That's what some of the shots were for. Just trying to get somebody to swing out, go for him, and Dusty shoot him in the back on that lean. And first half of the plan executed flawlessly. It was the shooting them part that did not quite work out
Red,
so well.
Red, fantastic at making noise. I can attest to that. He's fantastic at making a lot of noise.
Oh yes, no, he noise is like his second nature. He's very, very loud.
I've gotten very adept at server muting him. But yeah, no, he good at making noise. Dusty unfortunately just couldn't execute on the bait. Now, Soccer going for a bottom floor roam up might work out. Zen may actually hear this door open up, even though he does hear the hatch. Soccer just kind of waiting it out. May go for the rappel. I'm not quite sure what the plan is. I'm surprised, honestly, to not see a climb out from SV. Maybe they're giving Valor a bit of a break.
Valor definitely playing cautious, expecting some aggression. I think it's smart by SV to tone it back a little when you've played so aggressive the last couple rounds. Valor very clearly trying to adapt and be ready for those crazy swings. Ooh,
As you say
well,
that,
Speaking of adapting here, we're seeing Valor also playing very oddly compared to how they played the last two maps. The last two maps they were playing much more aggressively, and now they're just kind of, they lose a player and immediately
what a
get
flash!
scared.
But Sakura doesn't do anything with the flat.
Oh, no.
He
Ooh,
barely
good job for
takes
Sakura
down
there.
Zen.
that was a very key moment right there. If Sakura had lost that, I think the entire round for Valor is lost because you
Doesn't
just
matter
get
because
stuck
he's
in
about
a
to
pinch.
die in gym. So, because he didn't check his
But the last
Oh,
defender's stuck in
unfortunate.
gym. They know where he is. I mean, they need EMP, but the defender can't go anywhere.
Pick him out. There they go. Beautiful
That
job
could
there
have
by
ended.
Red.
That could have ended real bad for Valor, as he
could've.
didn't check his
That could've
corner
swung
there.
any other
That would have
way.
been real bad.
Yep. I think if the flank came very close to winning over Sakura, if the flank had won there, they have control of Green Hall, and at that point, Valor's stuck with no cover in Library. The second you get bottled in Library, the game is officially over. At least it should be, unless SV made some serious errors of judgment. That being said, that was the round that Valor needed. Valor had no rifles. They had 2 Omens, a Viper, a pistol, and something else. Oh, a Cadillo. That was Dusty with a Cadillo. Really kind of...
No.
That Cadillo buying was surprising.
No, where are SV going? Where are they going to climb out? Where are they going? Bane. Oh, no. He's going to climb out again. You can see him up here heading towards cafeteria, heading towards kitchen. He really wants to climb out on these Valor players. He's itching for it.
Valor seems to be positioning very not in the open, They seem to be a little wise to this
They're
trick.
formed up on the window.
They've learned at
again.
this point.
If they hop out of that window, they're going to be stuck
Again?
with nowhere to go.
Oh no!
You're kidding.
Oh,
They got the
no!
kill anyway!
Oh my god! Oh, 2 Valor players down immediately, and Bane is only sitting at 2 HP.
Waiter, more please. Let me go to the window again. Waiter,
I gotta tell you,
more
as a
climb outs,
player,
please.
that is one of the most rage-inducing things that can possibly happen. The first time, it's insulting. The second time, it's mortifying. The third time, you're out
I'm
of thought.
mocking you
Your
at the
brain
third
is
time.
just
How are you still getting
done.
hit with the same trick after the third time?
That was, I think, just the third time, Dami. I have to say. Oh no.
Yeah, that's really disheartening. Dusty, not afraid to fight though.
Ooh, Ego's coming out with a beautiful
Unfortunately,
pick
they
there.
have to
2
win.
picks.
Oh.
And winning does
no.
not seem to be
Oh,
what's happening.
no.
Oh no!
Oh,
Wait, he's in there. He's in. He's in. He's
Wait a
in.
minute.
He's in.
He doesn't have
He's in,
the
but
EMP.
he's
He takes
trying to-
shot 3.
Oh my god!
One
It's
left.
Takes shot
versus
4.
Zen.
It's just Zen. He needs the ace.
Oh, Zen doesn't know.
Oh no.
Zen doesn't know he's this far
Zen
forward.
knows. Zen knows and Zen gets him.
Gets
Oh,
the kill.
unfortunate for as he's shooting bodies.
Little,
In that
little bit of
case-
disrespect there.
Oh my god, dude.
A little bit of friendly banter there.
Yeah, well, you gotta have something. I mean, ETO almost aced your entire team in a 1v5. I mean, that's
I mean, Bane
I don't
could
know
have
if that's
got
a
him
body
a
shooting situation for me,
5v1.
honestly. I think that's a put my hands on my head because 4 of my teammates die.
yeah. ETO managed to slip in while all of SV was so focused on fighting and being aggressive at the front, and it almost won the entire round for Valor on its own. Showing a lot of the weakness of SV's play. SV is relying on Valor playing very meta pushes and going for very heavy counters to the meta pushes. Can you imagine if they had hopped out of that and Valor's just pushing A? You can
Also
imagine
relying
how
heavily on Bane.
badly that would go. True. Very true.
I mean,
So
I think
really-
Valor would have easily taken that one right there if they had those extra players that Bane got right there in the beginning.
I agree. I'm really not quite sure what happened. It seemed like Valor was in cover and ready to fight, and then Bane just won.
Bane just
Bane
Now-
said, I do not
Basically
care for
nothing.
your plans, and shot everyone in the face.
I do not wish to lose. Thank you. Now, I'm curious. Now, they're waiting for a climb out over on Valor. We're seeing Ito waiting downstairs, hoping someone drops. It looks like Zen may actually be hoping to do the opposite, go down the stairs, and Ito's not expecting it. Zen just straight up shoots
Oh
him.
no!
And that's honestly, that's
That-
bad for Valor in 2 ways. 1, they're player down. 2, I believe that's 2 flashes down.
What is
as
he
well.
doing?
Oh my god, Zen just got murked.
Okay. Zen,
Wow.
perhaps a little overheated, trying to go for some more kills there, but
I
It's a
guess
scrim,
he's
what
getting
can
a
you do?
little over offensive here. They're expending themselves a little bit too much, jumping all these windows, coming out as far as they can. It's gonna bite him in the butt with one of these plays.
I do love the coordinated offense from SV. They do not care. If they have any inkling of a chance, they will go for it. Just look at Shadow here. That Molly's going for him? Nah, I'm going to run forward.
SV is the type of
Almost
team who
caught.
thinks the best defense is a really good offense, and they are showing it to us here right now.
They're right
At
this point.
They're taking no time at all. I mean, we got Eagles coming right through. They're still pushing. They are not just saying, "Hey, we are going to stay in the building, and you guys can come to us." They are saying, "You are not going to enter the building. We don't want you to even try and come in, and if you do, we're going to push you back out."
Dusty is stuck now. He does have a stint. Oh, he just flashed himself.
Oh no.
Dusty does have a Marui. Red is at 3 health, doesn't have much else to work with. He's just kind of waiting it out. These SV players can honestly just kind of sweat these Valor players out of their hiding places. They don't have to do anything, and they're doing a fantastic job as not getting too aggressive, not pushing too up. They know where Dusty is. They know exactly where he is, and they can just hold him there.
Ooh, Dusty ready to fight, but doesn't need to just yet. Bane in the open. What? Okay,
Red's gonna
neither
try and
dies.
swing Bane. Bane
Somehow
not gonna
Bye,
be there
Bane, I
anymore.
guess.
Oh, 20 seconds left. Valor really wants to play this round with two Maroys. Red gets one, starting to push forward.
There goes Bane. It's just
They have
HJ and
15
Eagles
seconds,
left.
They have to send it. The only play is to send it. They do. They get one. Sight is fully theirs. They get plant down. They have to know the last one's on the flank after being that deep in sight.
Thank God Valor's not like SV and didn't leave EMP on roof.
They
That-
learned from SV's mistake. They're not going to do the exact same thing.
Oh, and E-Girls gave up the one advantage they have, which was surprise. They started moving in the open and started shooting, and now Valor knows exactly where they are. They are ready to short swing. If Dusty goes down,
Oh,
he
there
does
it
not.
goes.
Even if Dusty had gone down, Red was super ready to short swing that and finish off Casey.
Oh, we're devolving here, guys. We're becoming uncivilized. We have more body shooting happening on both sides.
Oh, no.
Let the bodies, let the
Oh,
bullets fire. Let the
no.
bodies get shot.
I'm not there to stop them.
This is an off-season cast anyway.
There's no
Who's
control.
Who's going to do anything about it?
AP for all of you.
You wish. It's out of your territory, my good sir. Stay out of it.
I
not
have
a mod.
connections.
Well, really just thrilling cast to watch. I've got to be honest. I wasn't quite sure how this cast would play out, but SV has it's got to be the most entertaining team at the top right now. I will say that. Their plays aren't even bad. You may look at them and it may be very easy to say, hey, this is a really bad play, but it's all calculated. They're taking huge gambles based on what they know about Valor as a team. It's extremely smart of them to do so and to keep pressure onto Valor.
Yeah, exactly.
like-
I mean, as someone
Sorry.
who hasn't, all good. As someone who hasn't casted Breachers, much, not coming into this, not knowing exactly what to expect, switching from two high-level teams like this.
Valor,
I will say
Valor's
they are.
just marching
Excuse
into
me a
A.
moment.
Pardon?
Valor's just marching into A.
Oh,
They-
absolutely. They're
There's
just going to take
nobody
it.
there.
They do it on either sides. A and B are completely cleared of players.
They're-
Itzia, is over
SV
there,
isn't even
causing
close
a
enough to get
distraction,
sound
but
cues. They don't even know Valor's on A until the EMP goes down.
It's a very interesting strategy right there from SV. And SV still acting like they have no idea EMP is down. And there they go. They're starting to come back now, but now it's just Valor playing defense basically. And we've seen Valor's defense on other maps now it stacks up. So I'm assuming we're gonna get something very similar here. Soccer holding connector with a little head peek, taking down one of them, and there goes. Oh, Zen gets him, but the refrag there from Shark is comes in clutch. We got Shadow coming through the flank here, looking for some people, and not gonna happen there.
Making
Shark's
every
gonna go
bit
take
of
him down
noise
as
he
well.
possibly can through through the external.
No
play.
quietness, no nothing. He just goes for it. I mean, it's a strategy, not a good one, but it's a strategy.
What is this, man? All right, I want to see Valor start climbing out the windows too.
The Valor just starts jumping out like, my turn.
My turn.
I'm back. Sorry. Hello.
I think Dusty would be their version of Vayne, I feel.
And I'm sure that would have been a thrilling round if I had seen it.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Did something crazy happen?
No.
No.
Oh.
No. Nothing
Not
at
at
all
all.
happened. You
Obviously.
can watch it in the replay.
Yeah,
I
you
feel
can
like
watch
you're
back.
lying to me.
Eastside didn't get just marched in from Valor with
Yeah,
no
Valor
defense
totally
whatsoever.
didn't just like tiptoe through the tulips straight into A without SV even hearing them.
That's the weakness of SV's style, though. They're playing very counter meta push. Valor does one thing that's not meta, immediately gets massive space and wins the round.
Yeah, it was bad
Hello.
enough. SV actually couldn't have known Valor was coming in on A because they didn't have a procs down and they were so far gone, they didn't even get the grenade sound.
They had no audio whatsoever.
Zero audio
Oh,
whatsoever.
man,
They were
that's
literally
brutal.
just sitting there. Oh!
Ooh, extremely good
nade.
pick on
Man.
the Zen.
Goodbye,
Oh, man.
Shiz. Wow.
Oh no,
SV
this
taking
is
some-
not a good start.
This Nuggets are all for
Ooh,
SSB.
great nade on Sakura though. Oh, but Shadow goes down as well. Library has control for Valor.
Looking to take
Not
over
having
Jim as
Library
well.
for Bane and Tacey is really hard to play against. They're getting pinched into that room there. Ooh, bad
Yeah, down
timing
to
for
a
Shark.
3-2.
Does get a lot of molly damage though. They have to know one's
Oh
in.
no.
They do.
Oh no. How did
Bane.
Ito get that off?
Bane, not again. That was the same person as last time.
How
Go
did he
down to
get
just
that off?
Dusty and Ito versus Egro.
EMP's on the
Situationship.
fucking roof!
Oh,
Oh my god. Oh,
God
this is not
damn it.
good. Oh god, fuck.
no.
I
Oh,
can
he's
actually
panicking.
say
He's
that because
panicking.
I'm not an official cast, dude. EMP's on the goddamn roof, dude. Why are we doing this?
It's like they're allergic to winning. You know, it's 3-3, and I don't see.
No. They're allergic to the
SB
EMP.
is
They're not
taking
allergic
this
to
one.
winning. You know, right?
Here's a bit
though?
of
Allergic
insight.
to the EMP.
I can explain why they're doing this. They're an aggressive team.
I,
That was destined for.
that was just going to
That was
fail.
not
I don't
gonna
know.
work. Yeah, there was no way that ever worked. Anyway, the reason they leave it on roof is because they're an aggressive team and they don't want their EMP guy to run in, die, and then Valor to hold it. Because that's what happened on Factory. Is the second Valor had EMP, they just backed off a site, held EMP, and it was bad for SV. The issue is SV is never
leave it on the
taking
goddamn
space with players alive. So EMP's just never able to be retrieved and is just on roof all the time.
All you have to
And it
do-
You
really
never go
limits-
back
All
for
you
it.
have to do is drop the EMP through hatch. That way you can at least go retrieve without having to climb out a window and rappel up to roof. You
Yeah.
leave the EMP in an accessible spot so that if you need it, you can get it easily.
They did that one singular time on Factory and then never again. They won that
What do you-
round on Factory and then never decided to do it again.
I mean, you can just give it to your droner. You'll be
Yeah,
in
I mean-
eventually. You know?
Which, to be
No
fair,
hate for SV, but I mean that is
well,
a wild
which to
strategy
be fair,
right
it's
there.
working against Valor because Valor is not doing well a lot of the times with these extremely aggressive plays.
True,
Really
very true. But that was on defense. On offense, it's a lot. Or when Valor's on defense, they get to set the tone. They get to set the pacing, where they fight the enemy team. It's a lot harder for SV to do these like super aggressive plays and make them work because they simply cannot. It's harder to gain control. You don't start out with control of the map.
Fair fast push here on B. SV
Good
trying to take
flashbang.
some good control. Red at the first line right here. Ooh, getting wallbang,
Ooh,
taking him
ooh,
down.
ooh,
Bane's
ooh.
just in the
there
point.
goes Red. That is unfortunate. Sakura going ahead and
Oh.
getting Bane.
They
HJ
have
taking
foam?
a little peek here.
They don't have foam.
They have no foam at all, Crimson.
They're screwed. They can't go through that door. That door is a death sentence.
That is, they're going to keep funneling in. Although it's just Sakura in there, they might be able to do something with the Sakura peaks. And
No, it's
gets
over.
one, gets two.
Oh,
It's down to
no.
Shadow V3.
You can
Wa-
see
Valor-
Shadow. Shadow just swinging his arms. He knows.
Valor
he
has likely
knows.
figured out they don't have foam, and the
And that
prox is
proxy's
in
going to
red.
give him away. Oh, that is the last thing Shadow needed right now.
no.
That proxy. ETO looking like he's going to maybe try and throw himself through it, but no.
Shadow, you
Shadow
and the
had one
sniper. Just
gamble.
keep that. Just keep that Shadow at this point, brother. Or
Might
Okay.
just need to save him.
When you're an aggressive team, man, you don't save. These guys, I don't think I will ever see save. They are going
Yeah,
to
true,
fight
true.
until they're all dead.
maybe they should have
Ooh.
foam next
Oh,
time though if they want to be that
ah.
aggressive.
Yeah. Foam is generally, if you're going to be aggressive, pretty, even if you're not going to be aggressive, foam, it's a little important. Just a little bit. Did everything crash?
Huh?
No,
Pardon?
Everything just froze for me.
Weird.
I still hear you.
Oh well. Nice, we're back.
That is odd. Okay. Well, welcome back.
Good luck.
Everything first.
Well, apparently,
doesn't like
SV had a similar issue because they now have bot Nicholas.
Oh, I
Not
see.
what you want to see
that was
down
just
numbers.
you. That was just you, obviously.
Well, what are you
Oh,
doing? Get in the game. Go fill for SV.
This
Gotta
is a pretty.
Show them how to win.
Yeah,
I-
Dami,
your captain
Dami,
has to
actually,
come
SV
back, you
call.
know?
They want you to fill in for them.
They don't want me to fill
I
in.
need to go
Trust me.
join my
I will
team.
singly make sure they lose. I'm
No,
not.
see, I know that. I've played breaches with you.
I think having bot Nicholas is going to spur SV into a very hyper aggressive, fast paced push. And Valor, knowing how SV has been playing, I think will pinch and be very ready for this. I think this is
Now,
an ill-fated hatch
You
drop.
say
Nicholas is gonna get
you
MVP
say
here.
high risk, fast push, but I see Eagles going in alone towards the B
They're
point
a
while the rest of SV gets massacred inside A.
Yeah, that's a
I like when
distraction.
bot Nicholas is the last one alive now. Jay's taking over my bane. I was hoping they would just let it sit.
You
So that-
say
just the funnies involved.
high speed. I say dead. Oh
Low
no.
reward, high
Oh.
risk.
Oh, ETO really wants to fight Bane and win.
Oh, you can see him
He's trying.
swinging all over. He's like a slinky coming through this hallway, dude. Oh,
no.
That's not
Bane.
good. That's
Man.
unfortunate.
Bane really good at killing anyone else on Valor, but if it's ETO, it's just not happening.
You can see him. He's like a
ETO just needs
bobblehead.
no
You can't hit
shots.
that head. He's just bobbling on through the hallway.
ETO definitely has some play space to him, that's for sure. He can just go left, right, and hit you in the head immediately.
Unfortunate.
Interesting play from SV, really an all or nothing gamble, very similar to their style thus far. But when you gamble, a lot of the times it favors the house, and they are no longer the house on offense.
And
And
it looks like that will continue as they have another bot on their team.
Oh no.
they have 2 bots, 3 shotguns.
This is unfortunate.
They have a phone. They have a phone.
phone.
It's something. You
They
know?
do have flashes too and a nade.
They're gonna go.
True.
Maybe they'll play strategically here now that they are.
They're pushing
reduced.
straight into A, which Valor is definitely not expecting. Valor has no
True.
one on A
Valor,
point.
our standard holds,
However,
does not usually have a ton on it.
Bot Kenny has EMP.
God.
So
Oh god.
That
might puts a bit of a
undercut
damper on this play.
slightly. The
Especially
issue
as he
with
just died
A-Rush
to trip
with
mines.
shotguns-
he just died to trip mines. So
Okay.
Oh no!
I feel so bad for.
They're gonna call where
SB here.
EMP is, and they're just. So
No,
here's
Valor
the
won't
issue
even
about it.
go
They
on the
take with
stairs.
shotguns.
oh, Dusty,
Oh,
no.
no.
Dusty swinging on through,
Oh,
takes
no.
out one. Trying to take it down E-Girls, does take down
Wait a
E-Girls.
second.
It is just Dusty versus Zen. Probably wants to push through connector, doesn't know he's in there. Zen, like a lost child, sitting, waiting for his mother inside connector with his hands above his head. He's
That
pulling a
is just
nade.
like,
He's trying to go martyrdom
what do we
here.
do?
If he dies, he's going to drop the nade, but it'll be too late. They're down this many rounds. You can hear Valor. They're like sharks. They smell blood in the water, and they're running.
They want
And
that
unfortunately,
kill.
there's nothing to do here. He has to make a move because if not, they win. If he makes a move and dies, they win. There's no, there's no good move here. There's no just save and hide. There's no, oh well, if I fight and lose, oh well, we have an next
Oh,
round.
here
There is
comes
none of
Sakura.
that.
Oh no,
Here
Sakura
comes
picked the
Sakura.
right door too.
Oh no, and Dusty as
Oh,
well. Oh, no.
He tried to surrender and he got executed for it. No.
Oh, that is
To
so
be fair,
unfortunate.
He was holding a lit grenade.
fair. Shooting him doesn't exactly unlight the grenade though. Just drops it on the floor.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
what
if he
a
dies,
scrim.
can't take damage anymore,
That's unfortunate.
What a scrim. That was very entertaining, I will say. Both sides really fighting it out. That was a brawl of a scrim.
Absolutely. That was a very good scrim. Those first 2 maps were really good. And coming to the third map, I mean, this third map was something else entirely. It was not like those first 2 maps at all. It was a much more chaotic playground there.
SV style extremely solid on defense there, where you get to choose when to fight, you get to choose how you swing them, and you can do it as a team. But when you're on offense, you're the one who has to clear and take space and really start wrapping around the enemy team. And they just did not feel like they had the slow progression or the util to do that. It felt like they were trying to brute force their way through. And against a high level team with util and guns, it's really hard to brute force on offense.
Yeah. Overall, though, I'd say that was a very exciting scrim to watch. We saw SV claim some good rounds off of Valor. a lot of the times, but Valor just had some very consistent play that I think outweighed SV's tactics they were using. You know, they started out, they got rounds. I would say that that's a big plus for SVs. When they did a new strategy, they got rounds off Valor for like 1 or 2 in a row, and then Valor went, oh yeah, we can just defend this. Like, we can just change our positioning. Yeah. And then they adapted and they got through that. And I think SV maybe ran out of tricks in their toolbox at some point.
That is the issue playing a style like that. You can't solely rely on it, because the more you do it, I guarantee you, like, going into the next scrim we have with SV, it's going to be less effective. And then the scrim after that, even less effective. Because the more you learn which positions they play, how they like to be aggressive, what you have to look out for, the more you can adapt and be prepared for it. And if you're prepared for that kind of style, it can really crumble easily.
Absolutely. It was
Go ahead.
there was a very lovely time with it. I just wanted to thank you, Plague, for letting us come on tonight.
Thank you, Plague. This was a very
Fantastic.
entertaining first
Yeah, I was
guest.
gonna say, before we sign off tonight, do you guys have any really closing thoughts about this? Especially, gunplayer utility wise, we talked about SV, number 7, a bit of a newcomer to the top, really, but they are someone who will probably be a bit of a contender in the next season. They have the gunplay, they have something like that where they can continue to improve and get more players coming in. Do you just have anything that maybe just some pointers or things like that, or just that you saw?
I think for sure, gunplay and skill wise, they have what's necessary. They have some very unique ideas. They just need to keep practicing. They're a young team. They just need to figure out what works and then start mixing it up. I would say focus more on the defensive half the offensive half, maybe stacking a little bit more, running a more consistent style on offense. But defense wise, keep throwing teams off, keep doing all this crazy stuff and seeing what works. And then once you know it works, save it. Keep that card in your sleeve. Use it when you need it most.
That's exactly what we saw Acer EU doing. We were talking to Acer EU and Valiant EU, and Valiant EU was talking about how they had never seen some of these strats from Acer, because Acer kept these in their back pocket, kept them in, and then used them against Valiance to great effect.
Absolutely. Having a backup plan or something like that where you don't quite show everybody what you're doing when you're doing these scrim stuff is absolutely a great idea. And from what I saw tonight, I can't speak too much on it because I'm not exactly sure how the high level play looks, but I will say SV had a very good run. It was a tough run, but a very good run. And a lot of what it came down to was just their execution on how they did things, where they positioned. Other than that, the gun skills was great. I like their use of util. There's just a lot of their positioning and execution of especially that on offense where they put themselves.
But I think with that's going to do it for us tonight on the cast. I want to thank everyone who came out to watch, for coming and seeing the scrim between these two teams. Hope to see you on another off-season cast here when we're heading towards the con. You can bet that I'm going to be doing a lot of these heading up towards the con just to see how teams are developing. And, obviously this isn't a VRML stream, but I'm still going to plug it. VRMLCon 2025, 25th through 27th. Come out and see me, or anyone else who's going. I think Crimson's going and a few others.
I'll be there.
A lot of people are going to be going. Come out and see us and come say hi. It's going to be really exciting to see you all there.
It's going to be a blast.
It's going to be a big blast. With that, that's going to be it for tonight. Hope you all have